Out here cooking in the lab. Hey guys, so for some of you guys who don't know, there is a coaching change at Beloit College for my last year here. Coach DeVoe has stepped down and we have a new replacement, Ben Coughlin, and we are very excited to have him, but I just kind of wanted to touch on how the last 3 years have been, why I love Coach DeVoe so much, why I've loved the Beloit lacrosse experience so much, and kind of how the team is transitioning kind of to this new year, this new culture, new kind of shape of the program. And so I guess first, I just want to touch on why Coach DeVoe was such an impactful person in my life, not just on the field, but outside. And I guess first off, he was just brutally honest, to a fault sometimes, but honestly, I needed that a lot of the time, and he would tell you when you're doing something wrong. He would tell you how to fix what you're doing as a leader, on the field, off the field. It was nonstop, and it honestly just made you self-reflect a lot, really think about who you are as a person. He was really big on character, and that's what shapes me as a person. And so that was just awesome that he stressed that all the time. I'd make a mistake. I consider myself one of the better players on the team, and if I'd make a mistake, he'd get on me just as hard, if not harder, and he'd really push me and motivate me and say hey, why are you doing the things you're doing? Make me question my methods and maybe see if there's a better way to do something. And he really did have high expectations, and he set standards for our program that will last for a long, long time. He really made sure that we were on top of our stuff. We never let someone take a rep off. We pushed ourselves and each other. There's a lot of accountability. You're expected to go in the weight room on your own, get better on your own, do the running and conditioning on your own. And that's hard because a lot of programs, they kind of force you to do it. And he wasn't about that. Why make someone do something they don't want to do? He said, if you want it, you'll put in the work. You'll bring your buddies to the gym. If you want this conference championship, that's what it's going to take. And so, the guys that bought in, it became a very successful way of doing things, and it just became kind of our day-to-day, how we operated. And, along with the testing and pushing me daily, we just had some amazing memories, during practices, games, and whatnot. But honestly, off the field, that's where he made the most impact. We had fantastic spring break trips. I was lucky enough to go see Kenna on DC. We played at Johns Hopkins Field, which was amazing. That's like every lacrosse player's dream. We were able to go down to Texas last year and just spend a long time out there doing some really cool things. We got to see an NBA game, and it truly was just a very memorable experience, especially when you're down there with a lot of your best buds. And that's the reason we would take those spring break trips, besides team camaraderie, let's have fun, is he wanted to raise the competition around us, and he did so very effectively. He wasn't let's just play some bum teams, let's get some easy wins. He would rather lose a game that we gave all out effort for, against some of the top competition that we could go and face, and learn from that and get better so that when we come back to conference, we're better equipped to compete. And I think that just makes so much sense. You're not going to get big beating on the little guys on the block. You got to go up to the biggest guy and say, you know what, I'm going to take you down, or I'm going to give you my best punch. And that kind of attitude is just going to stick with me throughout life. If there's a challenge in front of you, you can't just take the easy way. If you want something, you can't just cut corners and whatnot. You really have to go and get it. And that's something that Coach DeVoe definitely instilled in me. And then lastly, and probably most importantly about Coach DeVoe, is he created a culture here about leaving places cleaner than you found it, picking up your teammates when they're down, and making sure that you understand classes first, lacrosse is second, but then when you step on that field, you're taking everything you have and pouring it into every single play. There wasn't a playoff. We played until we heard a whistle, and sometimes that whistle wouldn't blow if it was 10 yards out of bounds. And so you're expected to sprint and go after it. And that kind of energy really just fired the team up, got us going. We played a fun brand of lacrosse. And I'm just truly grateful to be coached under such an amazing guy. I was able to go into his office anytime I want and just talk about anything. It didn't have to be about lacrosse. It didn't have to be about school. He was just so personable. And that's really rare in a coach. And, I'm excited, very, very excited for this next year, because, new coach, hopefully there's some different perspectives I haven't learned yet. But, he's a hard guy to replace. And I think that, it's going to take some time for me to get used to it. But as for kind of the transition, we kind of had a feeling coach was going to be moving on, and, that's fine. And sometimes that happens. You just got to roll with the punches. But we created a committee pretty quickly. It was the AD, a couple other staff members at Beloit, and then Mark and I, two captains. And we just kind of narrowed down some candidates, and we found Ben Coughlin, who is an assistant at Aurora. And, he seems like a great guy who's going to continue to push a culture that is effective and impactful on the community. He wants to play a fast brand of lacrosse. He understands, the problems we have this year with like a small roster and how he plans to, fix that. And so, he's someone that we are excited to have. As a team, transitioning is definitely never easy, especially for the older guys, because we've had the same kind of regime for a while. But we are doing captain's practices, team lifts, team running. We're trying to get the guys together off the field. I just really I really hope that I can create some more memorable experiences here, that we can continue to push the culture that we've already established, and maybe, dive deep into some things that maybe we haven't talked about as a team. Maybe we haven't experienced on the lacrosse field. And, change is sometimes a good thing. It's scary, but we're certainly ready. And it's just another challenge on the way. We'll take it head on. And yeah, I'm really grateful for Coach DeVoe and what Beloit has offered me over these past 3 years. As for a school update, really simple. I'm just grinding. We got to pick classes next week. I'm gonna have a tough schedule next semester. It's just gonna be grind mode, but that's what's to be expected as a senior. And so I'm just gonna try to get these guys on board. I've been playing IM basketball. We got a pretty good team. We're 2-0. Fantasy football is going great. I got a 6-0 win streak right now. Hoping to make it 7 tonight. But honestly, life's been going pretty good. Kind of obviously the good news you guys heard last week. If you haven't, go check out that video. But she's doing well, and I get to see her in a couple weeks for Thanksgiving, and then a couple more for winter break. So things are really kind of falling into place. It was a rough start to the semester, but honestly, things are looking up. We got a coach now. Kenna's doing well. School's going well, and I'm just trying to get by, living my best life. But as always, guys, make sure to like, share, subscribe. We'll see you next time. Peace.